Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the match and the new WWE World Heavyweight Predictions Champion is jago107! You see this? Yeah! Clean sweep, bitches! I just got every single prediction right on my predictions. Stay where you are, motherfucker. Every single one of them. You see the check marks? All of them. Every match. I called it. I am Nostradamus. Yeah! Let's get into this fucking shit. Set that over there. The Extreme Rules pay-per-view, May 22nd, 2016. Newark, New Jersey. The Prudential Center. The kickoff show, of course, starts off with the panel. Renee Young, Corey Graves, Booker T, and Jerry the King Lawler talking about a bunch of shit. More bad jokes from Jerry Lawler, as always. They cut to Tom Phillips in the social media lounge, finally back from his hiatus wherever the fuck he was. He's going to be talking with Rusev and Lana, doing the same thing they did last month, asking them questions from Twitter. I would ask Lana what Rusev's asshole tastes like, but I don't want to know. Also, yeah, anyways. Cutting back to the panel, they show the video package, the recap video package of the feud between Jericho and Ambrose. And then they talk about it, and then they cut to a commercial break. Then they show the video package for Charlotte and Natalya. They talk about it. They cut back to the panel after the video package. Paige and Becky Lynch are there on the panel, replacing Corey Graves, who had fucked off to do whatever. They talk, blah-de-blah-de-blah-de, commercial break. Cutting down to the ring, for some reason, out come the fucking Dudleys and their fat asses. They get no reaction during their entrance, of course, because they never fucking do anymore. They get on the mic and they start cutting a shitty heel promo, saying that they killed ECW. Since they're in Jersey, which is not too far away from Philly, they say that they killed ECW, saying that after they left ECW, ECW went into the toilet. Well, let's be completely honest. ECW was in the toilet long before the Dudleys left. And then they asked the question, what would the Extreme Rules pay-per-view be like without the Dudleys? And I'm thinking, a lot better. And their punchline is, well, the reason why we're not on the Extreme Rules pay-per-view is because we're above being extreme. Again, just being heelish. They insult Jersey, saying that this town sucks, and Bubba even does the Devon, and Devon goes, what? And Bubba goes, can we please leave this stinking city? It stinks. Your face stinks. He's got some new ink on his shoulder for some reason. I'm thinking, Velvet Sky dates this fat piece of shit? Fuck you. Out comes Big Cass to a pop. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Big fucking chant from the crowd for some... Oh, no. Cass starts... I don't know why he started doing this, but he starts cutting this promo, listing off these various food objects. And every time he says one, the crowd goes, how you doing? He says another one, how you doing? And then he stops and he's like, I couldn't think of any more food. Cass jumps in the ring and gets in the fight with the Dudleys. He actually manages to fight them off. Well, they start beating him down at first because it's 2-on-1. And the crowd starts chanting, Enzo, Enzo, hoping that Enzo is going to return. Well, no. Big Cass fights back. Let's see, what was going to happen? Okay, Cass was like in the middle of the ring, Devon was behind him in the corner, and Bubba was on the opposite corner. Bubba comes charging, Cass sidesteps, throws Bubba into Devon, plow. Bubba gets up, turns around, eats a big fucking boot from Cass, he goes out of the ring. Devon takes the East River Crossing from Big Cass, and that's fucking it. Cass gets out of the ring, grabs a mic, and says, "There's one word to describe you fat-ass Dudleys, and I'm gonna spell it out. S-A-W-F-T. Soft!" And that's fucking it for that shit. And they say that the Social Media Lounge segment with Tom Phillips, Rusev, and Lana is going to be next. They cut to another commercial break. Coming back, backstage, there's JoJo. And she's in the interview area. And up comes The Miz and Maurice talking about the Intercontinental title Fatal 4-Way match. Miz gets around to a point. I've prepared a monologue based off of, can't remember the name of the movie he said, something or other starring Russell Crowe. He goes through this boring-ass monologue, and he finishes it, and then he looks at Maurice and he's like, "I feel like I fucked that up. Let me try it again." And Maurice is like, "Take two." And he does it again. And I'm like, whatever, dude. They cut back over to the panel who starts talking. They talk about the Fatal 4-Way match, whatever the fuck. And then we get a recap from Raw of Rusev beating the piss out of Kalisto, stretching him way the fuck back, breaking his back, and fucking his ass, and making him humble. They show the recap of all that. They cut to the Social Media Lounge, and there's Peon in a suit, fucking Tom Phillips. And there's Rusev and Lana. Lana looking hot as fuck in her little tiny little jacket with her little bra, and like she wears just a bra, like a lacy bra underneath this jacket, and it's like comes to here, and then this little skirt. And I'm like, she's dressing like a hooker. Not that I'm complaining, she looks hot as fuck. I'm just thinking, how did this Roger Rabbit goofball motherfucker land such a hot babe? I don't know if I've said that or not, but that's what it's called. Roger Rabbit. When a goofball lands a total babe. So Todd starts talking, asking, he's like introducing the segment, and all of a sudden Rusev cuts in speaking English, and I'm like, what the fuck? When the hell did you learn how to learn English? Where did you learn how to speak English? Good for you, motherfucker. You been taking classes? They go through these stupid questions. I don't know what the fuck all it was. I think somebody asked, like, how do you guys like it here in America? Or why are you here in America? And Rusev is like, I like making money. And I'm like, how very capitalist of you, Mr. Russian, communist. Anyways. Stupid fucking questions. And Lana's pissed off the whole time, saying that, like, why aren't the questions for Rusev and Lana and not just Rusev? I'm like, because he's the one wrestling, you dumb bitch. What's Florida like this time of year? That's a question I'd like you to ask, or answer. What does Rusev's asshole taste like, you fucking whore? Anyways. Rounding that dumb shit out, we cut and we get the fucking video package hyping up AJ and Roman, the big feud there. And the pre-show panel talks about it, and we cut to another commercial. That shit's done, we get to the match. Out comes the big fucking ugly goof Baron Corbin, comes out to no reaction. And then Ziggler comes out to a pop. He's got on new gear, by the way. He's still wearing the long tights, but they're white with like pink zebra print stripes. And he's got these like little skulls, like cool, interesting looking skulls on the thighs and on the knee pad and on the calves and shit. They looked cool, and there was some kind of logo design on his ass of the tights. It said some words and some logo, I don't know, some like DZ World Destruction Tour or some shit. He's wearing a shirt too. He doesn't even take the shirt off because it's a no DQ match. But anyways, we get the match. Match turns out to be okay. First big moment comes when they spill outside of the ring. And they go over towards one of the corner posts. And what ends up happening is Corbin reaches around the post, grabs Ziggler by the arm, and pulls him through, ramming him head first into the fucking post. So Ziggler takes a headshot to this post. He's out of it for a bit. Corbin throws him back in the ring, gets him on the ropes, and ties him in the ropes. You know, the old Andre the Giant spot where you get your arms tied in the top ropes. You know, and he's there, and Corbin just teeing off, just cracking him. He even calls out, "This one's for you, fatty," and he goes, BAM! And he nails Ziggler again. Ziggler, he didn't get him all the way tied in, because the ropes are really tight. You can't really crank them the way you're supposed to get them really tied. So, and Ziggler ends up just kind of flopping out of it. I think Ziggler tried to make a comeback. Corbin cuts him off, hitting the deep six on him, gets a 2 count. Ziggler starts fighting back again, and the finish of the match comes. Corbin's like down on one knee. Ziggler's in the corner, and he's stomping. He's getting ready to do his nice super kick. He goes for it. Corbin gets out of the way. As he stumbles by Corbin grabs him by like the belt and just nutshots the crap out of him. And Ziggler's like, "Motherfuck!" And he goes down kicking and screaming and hollering. He's really selling this nut shot. He's like, "Motherfucker, I need those!" Ah! You know. Finally, after some selling, Corbin grabs him by the arm, picks him up, throws him, gets him, cinches him up, and hits the fucking end of days, plants him, and gets the 1-2-3. And Corbin actually got a decent boo when he won. But he did win, just as I predicted. Moving on. Panel starts talking about yada yada. And while they're talking, Michael Cole comes down to the ring to do the commentary. We had Mauro Ranallo and Byron Saxton during the pre-show. But Cole comes out to replace Mauro. And I don't know if this is new or not, but Cole has some stupid fucking sounding music. There's like whistling in it, and it just sounds really fucking dorky and stupid. Of course, he got booed, because the crowd fucking hates his guts. JBL came out next. It didn't last very long before the pre-show cut, but he probably got cheered because the moron crowd always cheers at JBL, even though he's just as bad as Michael Cole. As a matter of fact, I'm going to have more on that later because he says some stupid shit, threw me into a fucking rant where I was screaming my head off. Anyways, but like I said, that's where the pre-show cuts off. And it's time for the actual pay-per-view proper. It starts off with this interesting intro video package talking about rules, and we've got no rules tonight. We're kicking off the bounds of law and order, or some shit like that. Just hyping up this Extreme Rules thing. Pyro, of course, after the video. Not only did I predict correctly the winner of every match, I correctly predicted the exact order every match would happen in. The way I had it on my paper is the exact way it happens. The Usos come out to a chorus of boos. And while they're coming out, we go through some of the other commentary tables that we have. We don't just have the English, we've got Spanish, there's like German, French, Italian, fucking Japanese with fucking Funaki. And it's like, motherfucker, how many goddamn announce tables do you need? Just go with the 2 at ringside and shut the fuck up. I guess we actually needed at least 3 at ringside tonight because of what happens. We'll get to that. But yeah, they show just a few of the other commentary tables here. Just a couple, maybe. They show another couple of them later, but we'll get to that. After that, Bulletproof, Gallows and Anderson come out to a pop. And before they even get in the ring, the Usos jump out of the ring and they start going and fighting with the fucking guys right in the fucking aisle. Again, since it's a pay-per-view, there's no ramp on, or there's no stage up by the Titantron. It's flat. I don't know why they do this. The pay-per-views should have a fucking stage. They should feel bigger than your normal Raw and SmackDown shows. What the fuck is the point of this? And why does it even matter? Whatever. So we get the match between the Usos and the Bulletproof guys. Tornado match. No tagging, just all brawl all the time. This match ended up being decent. First thing of note happens when Gallows and Anderson... Let's see. I don't remember who does which part of this, but they do the Boot of Doom move, where the one guy gets him on his shoulders, the other guy kicks him in the head, and then he turns that into a flapjack. Well, little variation on the normal thing. The guy has the one Uso up on his shoulders, but he's standing on the floor at ringside, close to the barricade. I believe it's Gallows that has the Uso up on his shoulders. Anderson comes from the apron charging, does his boot from the apron, kicks the Uso, he spins around, and Gallows spins him and flops him onto the barricade. So you get a nice snake eyes onto the barricade, along with getting your head kicked in, and getting slammed to the fucking floor. So that was interesting. Anderson wound up doing a big charging knee onto one of the Usos. Just one of the Usos was getting beat down by Anderson, and, he was getting beat down by Gallows. Anderson comes running in. I think he even took the knee pad down to come in and just boosh! Big running knee. Okay. Way back when Gallows was, well, he's still Luke Gallows now, but way back when he was Luke Gallows in the Straight Edge Society, he had a move called the 12-step program, or just the 12-step, or whatever the fuck. He would get them up and fold their arms over and then lift them up and slam them down, like the Kali bomb. Well, he does that move here, and apparently he calls it the Gallows pole. Kind of a stupid play on words. I'm guessing a play on words of a Gallup poll, which is a political term used for when people vote, some kind of a Gallup poll. I don't know. Who cares? He hits that, only gets a 2 count, whatever the fuck. One of the Usos gets, I don't remember if it was Anderson or Gallows, gets him down in the corner of the barricade outside the ring. And he goes all the way across and comes charging and does their big stupid ass womp in the corner. And I'm like, you're just going to wreck your back doing that shit. I was hoping Anderson or Gallows, whoever it was just going to get out of the way, and the Uso would just fly and just plow through the fucking barricade. That would have been hilarious. But no, he takes the lick and gets hit with it. The other guy, Gallows or Anderson, I can't remember which, he starts clobbering, whatever the fuck. He goes over to the timekeeper's area, and he grabs the ring bell. Yes, the bell. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is just a tornado match. They never said anything about it being no DQ. And then Michael Cole goes, every match tonight is under no DQ rules. And I'm like, thanks for fucking bringing that up sooner, you shitheads. So what, are they taking a page out of TNA's book? And doing, since it's a themed pay-per-view, we're going to have all the matches no DQ? Not that I'm complaining, but, would have been nice of you to bring this up sooner. Anyways, he gets in the ring with the bell, and he's getting ready to clobber one of the Usos. Well, the Uso jumps up, super kicks him in the damn face. But, funny thing, the guy holds on to the bell. He goes down from the super kick. Stupid Uso goes up to the top rope to do the big superfly splash. He comes off with the splash, whoever it was, Anderson or Gallows, rolls in to get out of the way, but leaves the bell where he was. So the Uso comes down, splashes onto the fucking bell right in his guts and his chest. He eats the shit out of that. The other Bulletproof guy jumps in, they set the stupid Uso up, they hit the magic killer on him, and they get the win. And the crowd pops. And I had to make a note that the Usos seemed to be pretty hurt after this match. The commentators were making a big deal out of it like they were really hurt. And I'm thinking, does this mean they're not going to be able to interfere in the title match at the end of the show? I just had to make a note of that. Commercial break. Coming back, we get the recap of the Rusev and Kalisto shit from Raw again, breaking the back, making him humble. Lana's already in the ring. Don't know why we didn't get to listen to her music and her come out, but she's already in the ring. She introduces Rusev, his shit music hits, and he comes out to no fucking reaction because he's boring as fuck. And this is where they show more of the other commentary tables. And I'm like, Jesus, how many do you need? Kalisto comes out. No Sin Cara. And this is probably the only prediction I made that was wrong. Of course, it wasn't really an official prediction. Sin Cara had nothing to do with this match. At all. He didn't come out. He didn't do anything. He didn't show up on the Titantron to distract anybody. Nowhere to be found. Although they might use that as the wedge to drive between Sin Cara and Kalisto. Kalisto will be like, what the fuck, man? I helped you win your match the other week on Raw, and you were nowhere to be found for me. And Hunico will just be like, you know, because he can't talk because he's in the stupid Sin Cara mask. Because Sin Cara apparently doesn't talk. If you've seen the fucking stupid Scooby-Doo WWE movie, Sin Cara communicates through interpretive lucha libre or some shit, doing all these fucking flips and spins and moves, and for some reason John Cena knows this language. By the way, if you ever have a chance to watch that, fucking don't. It's stupid as fuck. Don't even know why the fuck I brought that up. Anyways, so we have the match between these two. And the first thing I noticed, I'm thinking the crowd was doing a dueling chant for Rusev, like, we want Rusev, Rusev sucks. Or maybe they were saying, we want Lana, Rusev sucks. I don't know. Whatever. Rusev gets a bear hug on Kalisto. He's trying to wear him down. He's like trying to work these submissions or wear down things. He does a bear hug, and then he lifts him up and gets him into the torture rack, like Lex Luger used to do. He's racking the crap out of him. And I think what happened was, he's got him in the rack, Kalisto reverses it, slides down the back, and gets Rusev in a fucking sleeper hold. So he gets him in a sleeper, he's trying to do that. Rusev counters the sleeper hold. He's trying to make his way to the ropes. Can't make his way to the ropes, so instead he stands up and just falls backwards, slamming the fuck out of Kalisto and just crushing him. Kalisto starts doing his comeback combo. They end up spilling out to the outside, or Rusev goes to the outside, and Kalisto... Oh, right. Kalisto hits the ropes and goes to do like a dive through the ropes, but he goes through feet first, lands him on Rusev's shoulders, comes through and Hurricane Rana's him, throwing him face first into the ring steps on the side of the ring over by the commentary table. So yeah, Rusev eats some stairs. Kalisto picks him up, throws him back into the ring. He gets onto the apron. He does a springboard into a frog splash, almost like Eddie Guerrero style, although it almost kind of looked like a Rob Van Dam 5-star frog splash. But he springboards it off the ropes from the apron doing that, which was cool. Spilling out to the outside again. Rusev falls out. Kalisto comes jumping onto the apron. He runs across the apron, goes up to the top rope, and then jumps off and does a moonsault, landing on Rusev. And then I think once again he grabs Rusev, throws him back into the ring. And Kalisto goes back up to the top rope. Well, he spends too much time waiting. Rusev jumps up, grabs Kalisto like he's going to do the classic Flair spot where you just throw him out of the corner and they do a flap and land him back. But instead, he throws him, flips him, and Kalisto lands back first on the apron, that real hard edge of the ring that's really hard. At least that's what they sell it as. He splats on the fucking apron and he's hurt. This is basically the turning point of the match. It's all Rusev from here. The referee has to pull Rusev back to check on Kalisto. He's like, yeah, whatever. Kalisto basically goes limp. He's still laying on the apron. The referee's backing Rusev up. Rusev is finally like, fuck this. He grabs him, yanks him into the ring, and the referee's like, no, I gotta check him, you know. He keeps having to get warned by the referee because he goes over and he stomps on his back and he does it again and the referee is backing him up. Finally, after way too much stalling, Rusev locks in the goddamn accolade, bends him way the fuck back to the point where Kalisto had to get up on his knees to bend back way the fuck. And again, he's breaking his back and fucking his ass and making Lana jealous. And Kalisto has to tap out. Your winner and new U.S. champion, the boring brute, Rusev. And his lovely wife. Third correct prediction. I'm not even going to bother with the correct predictions. I got them all right, okay? Oh, yeah, this was the part where JBL did his shit commentary. I just don't even know what to say anymore, John. Your commentary is the utter dog shits. I really wish somebody would get a ticket to the show and sit right behind JBL on the commentary, in the front row, right behind commentary, and just get a nice pair of brass knucks and just crack this fucker in the back of the dome and knock him the fuck out so we don't get any more of his shit commentary. Or just somebody pick up their chair and just bash this stupid fucker over the goddamn head. He is the absolute worst commentator they have. And yes, that even includes Cole. Cole's boring. Cole sucks. He miscalls moves. He's boring as fuck. He's got that real horrible fake laugh that he does that just makes me want to puke. But he's not this tooth-grinding fucking obnoxious like JBL is. I seriously fucking hate this motherfucker. You're a shit commentator, John. You were a shit fucking wrestler, and you need to go fuck yourself. Go fucking climb Mount Kilimanjaro again or something. Just get the fuck out of the company. Your commentary is shit. Commercial break. After the commercial, out comes the New Day. To a pop. And they show the recap from Raw, the time machine shit going back to the bygone era and all that goofy shit. The three start cutting a promo in the ring, and Woods makes this comment. He starts talking to the ladies in the audience. He's like, ladies, they destroyed my time machine, and if you want to console me, my DMs are open. He's talking about his Twitter account. My DMs are open. And Biggie cuts in. He's like, no, it wasn't no time machine. That was clearly just a refrigerator box. And Woods is like, it was a time machine. Let me shoot my shot. That's what he said. I have no idea what the fuck. And I'm like, I had to write it down. It was so dumb. Shooting my shot. And I'm thinking, that phrasing, that's naughty. Anyways, during this promo, Biggie is standing there. He has a couple of hoes, the garden tools. He's got them slung over his shoulder. And they have labels on each and one of them. The New Day guys finally get around to making their point. I guess it was Woods who's like, you'll notice over Big E's shoulder we have a couple of tools. And they're labeled Aiden English and Simon Gotch. And the joke is, we're going to put a couple of hoes in the ground because we're in the Garden State. And put a couple of hoes in the ground. And they end with the New Day rocks. And then the vaudevillains come out to some booze. And they're wearing some pay-per-view gear as well. They have, like, these old-timey looking jackets. And one of them even has, like, the kind of, what are they called? The flaps in the back. A tailcoat. Where it comes down and has the little flaps at the back. One of them's wearing that. And he's wearing, I think it was Aiden English who has this with the tailcoat. And he's wearing, like, a fucking top hat. Looking real old-timey, real old school. Liking it. Okay. So they come out and we get this match. And this match turns out to be a decent match as well. First thing I had to notice is there was a sign in the crowd that said, "I eat booty." I wonder if Lana was holding that sign. No. Anyways. Oh, right. It's Woods and Big E are the ones participating in this match. Kofi is on the outside. Woods is taking the beat down for a minute, and he's able to make the hot dag to Big E. Big E does his big splash. Big E also goes for his big spear running through the ropes, spearing the guy from the apron to the floor. He goes to do it, but the guy counters it, gets the knee up, and hits him with that. And they go for a finish tease where, I guess it was, yeah, Big E tags in Woods, but then gets jumped by the vaudevillain guy, and Big Schmaz, and they're, the vaudevillain guys, they make a tag. They've got Woods in the ring. They hit the whirling dervish on him, which is their finisher. And Woods fucking kicks out at 2. And I'm like, yeah, from here I know that they just kicked out of their finisher. They're not winning this match. The vaudevillains ain't that. I mean, Big E is able to hit his apron spear. And Kofi, from the outside, he's carrying the one fucking bootio that was left from WrestleMania. He clocks the one dude with it, so I swear that thing's full of lead. They're going to come out with that. Woods is the legal guy. After the shot from the bootio, Woods hits some big kick. Apparently it's his finishing move or some shit. He hits that. And he gets the win. So the New Day wins, and they retain the tag titles. Big pop from the crowd. Yada yada, moving on. We cut backstage to one of the goofy backstage areas. There's AJ Styles. Up comes Renee Young. She starts asking him, like, I believe it's all she asks him is like, you know, the match going on, are the club guys going to get involved? And AJ's like, I don't want to talk about that. That's all you ever ask me about. I'm going to win this damn match, and I'm going to do it by myself. And then AJ immediately proceeds to walk through a door, which is obviously a locker room. He closes the door, and on the door is a sign that says, The Club. So that's their official name now, The Club. They can't call them the Bullet Club, so it's just The Club. Cut to a commercial break. Coming back, or during the commercial break, they happen to say, or that one of the commercials is, the Money in the Bank pay-per-view is going to be the next pay-per-view. It will take place in Las Vegas, and that will be on June 19th. Coming back from the commercial break, they show a video package for the Intercontinental title Fatal 4-Way match. And of course, that segues into the match itself. Out comes Kevin Owens to a pop. Out comes Cesaro to a pop. Wearing, instead of his normal, you know, he's got the black suit on and everything, looking like James Bond. This time he's wearing a white jacket. Just a little bit different, I don't know. And then out comes Sami Zayn to a pop. And then The Miz comes out with Maurice, of course. And I think the crowd was singing his song. Like, singing all the lyrics to his song. So I don't know if he was getting booed, or if that was them, like, cheering him. His song actually isn't bad. whatever the fuck. We get this match between the four of them for the IC title. The match starts off immediately when Sammy comes screaming across the ring, nailing Owens in the face with his hell of a kick, knocking Owens right the fuck out of the ring. So, that fucking quickly, Owens is knocked out of the fucking ring and completely knocked out for a while. Not to be outdone, Cesaro comes charging across the ring and nails The Miz with a big uppercut. Miz goes out of the ring. And so the match basically starts with Cesaro and Sammy going one-on-one. The crowd chants "Ole." What ends up happening, Miz is the first one to come back. He gets involved. Him and Cesaro get knocked out of the ring. Sammy hits the ropes and does a big jumping, flipping senton on top of the two of them to the ringside. Miz hits his big running corner clothesline. Owens finally comes back to break up a Tower of Power spot. Don't know why the fuck he broke this up, but Cesaro and Sammy and Miz were in the corner doing the Tower of Power spot. Owens comes in and hits Cesaro and throws him away and then hits whoever the fuck, and he gets up with Miz and starts hitting him or whatever the fuck. And I'm like, why the hell did you break that up? Why the fuck wouldn't you help and, do more damage? A couple of minutes later, they end up doing a Tower of Power anyways, with all four of them involved. And let's see. Cesaro was on the one on the bottom doing the power bomb, while I think it was Sammy and Owens suplexing The Miz. So Cesaro was able to take control there for a minute after that, because he was the only one who didn't really get hurt by it. It didn't matter, there were no... he probably went for a couple of pins, but everybody kicks out, so whatever. Sammy hits the Blue Thunder Bomb on somebody. I didn't write who, but it doesn't matter. This was cool. Sammy grabs The Miz, I think, to give him the big exploder suplex. Well, I think it was either Cesaro or Owens who came up behind Sammy, grabs him around the waist, and does a German suplex, throwing Sammy and The Miz. So it was like a combination German exploder suplex. Crowd chants, "This is awesome," which is, yeah. Cesaro, all the other three guys are in the corners, and Cesaro starts doing his uppercut train. One, and then another, and then boom, 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 He just destroys people with this uppercut train. And he ends hitting The Miz with another uppercut, and then going for his swing, which is stopped by Owens, who comes up from behind and German suplexes Cesaro to break up the swing. He never even got to swinging him. So now Owens is in control. He nails a cannonball on somebody, and then a second one on one of the other guys, and then a third on the other guy. And then there was a parade of finishers spot, ending with The Miz hitting the skull-crushing finale. I don't remember on who, but whoever it was, they kicked out at 2, or 2 3/4. So I think that might be the first time anybody's ever kicked out of the skull-crushing finale. Or did I say that last month at the last pay-per-view? I don't know. Either way, somebody kicked out at 2. Miz is shocked. He's like, how could anybody kick out? I don't know. Cesaro hits his corkscrew uppercut, springboarding off of the second rope. I think it was on The Miz. And then he goes for the swing, and he does it. He gets done doing the swing, stops, puts the motherfucker in the sharpshooter. He's got him in the sharpshooter. Yeah, he was doing this on The Miz. Because The Miz crawls to the ropes. Because it's a fatal four-way, there's no DQ, there's no rope breaks either. So making it to the ropes doesn't mean shit. Well, Miz is on the ropes, and Maurice is right there on the outside. Like, oh my God, help me, Miz. Maurice grabs Miz's hands, and Cesaro pulls him back, dragging Maurice into the ring with them. The ref gets distracted, trying to help Maurice back out of the ring. Meanwhile, Cesaro still has The Miz in the sharpshooter. Miz starts tapping out. But the ref is distracted with Maurice, so he doesn't see it, or apparently hear it, so nothing happens. After the tap out, Cesaro lets him out because he's like, yay, I won, the motherfucker tapped out. But of course, no bell because the ref didn't see it or hear it. What ends up happening is Cesaro goes to grab the Miz again to put him in the sharpshooter. Miz is crawling away. He's still on his back. He hasn't been put in it yet. He grabs onto the ropes, and Cesaro's trying to pull him off. He's like got him held up, and Miz is like hanging on the ropes. He's like doing this number. Owens climbs up to the top rope and jumps off and frog splashes Miz as he's being suspended, splashes him all the way to the fucking mat. That was interesting. Cesaro, I believe, hits the neutralizer on Owens, goes for the pin, gets like 2 3/4 before Sammy dives in to stop the count. He breaks it up. Another "This is awesome" chant from the crowd. Sammy hits his exploder suplex into the corner. I don't know on who. There's another big schmoz. Maurice. Okay. Owens winds up on the floor with The Miz. Yeah, what happened was, Owens, I believe, had hit the pop-up powerbomb on somebody. He was going for the cover. Miz, from the outside of the ring, grabs him and pulls him out. And then Owens is just like, you bitch, and he cracks the fuck out of him, throws him into the barricade. Owens turns around, and there's Maurice. She distracts Owens long enough. Sammy hits the hell of a kick on Cesaro, I believe. Sammy goes for the cover, gets yanked out of the ring by Owens. Owens and Sammy go to fighting each other. I believe they even spill over the barricade into the crowd. They're on the floor. Sammy's on top of Owens, just beating the crap out of him. While that's going on, I think The Miz got back in the ring. I believe he hits the skull-crushing finale on Cesaro again, and he gets the 1, 2, 3, and just before the 3 count, Sammy's trying to crawl into the ring. He was that close from stopping the pin, but Miz steals the win just like I thought he would. Miz retains the title. Good fucking match here. This one was exciting as shit. And I don't say that shit often. I was honestly more excited throughout this pay-per-view just thinking, oh my god, I'm going to get a clean sweep on these predictions because this is awesome. Yeah. King of predictions. Anyways. So yeah, we cut to the the pre-show panel. They start talking. And then they go through recapping a bunch of the stuff that's already happened. Like Big Cass and the Dudleys from the pre-show, Ziggler and Corbin also from the pre-show, and then they cut into the video package to hype up the match between Ambrose and Chris Jericho. And after the video package, they show, here comes the Asylum cage, it's being lowered down around the ring. Out comes Jericho to no fucking reaction, and then out comes Ambrose to a pop. They're both in the ring, and from outside the ring, another referee grabs a nice big chain and a padlock to seal the door shut. There's no escape in this match. You have to win by pin or submission. And Jericho's yelling at him. He's like, open the door, you're an idiot, I'm going to get you for this. You know, that kind of... Jericho is such a bitch. We get the match, and this turned out to be a good match. The first thing of note is Ambrose gets a hold of the mop. He climbs up and he grabs the mop down. He hits Jericho with it a couple of times, going as far as using the Sandman's White Russian leg sweep, wrapping it around Jericho's face and leg sweeping him backwards with it. I thought that was awesome. And then while Jericho's down, he uses the mop part and rubs that on Jericho's face. Jericho had went to climb up the cage, but Ambrose grabbed him and did a nice super back suplex. And then the two of them both go up opposite sides of the cage. Ambrose grabs the nunchucks, and Jericho grabs the barbed wire 2x4. And they both get down at the same time, and they turn around, and Jericho's like, look what I got, what are you going to do with them little chopsticks? And all of a sudden, Ambrose has got the nunchucks, and he's like, starts whipping these things around like Bruce Lee from the fucking Enter the Dragon or whatever movie it was. And they're like, Ambrose knows how to use these things. And I'm like, you grow up on the streets, you learn a few tricks, motherfucker. You gotta know how to fight. Dean completely disarms and beats the crap out of Jericho with these nunchucks. And then Ambrose goes up, grabs a kendo stick. Or no. Jericho goes up and grabs the kendo stick. And he starts hitting Ambrose with it. Including going up to the top rope, jumping down, and cracking Ambrose over the head with the kendo stick. Jericho gets the nunchucks and he uses them on Ambrose. Jericho goes up and grabs a leather strap, because that was one of the things up there. He gets that and he starts whipping Ambrose with the strap. Ambrose comes back and he gets the strap and he starts laying into fucking Jericho with the strap. Jericho is able to counter and he throws Ambrose head first into the fucking cage wall. And then, let's see, Jericho was climbing up the cage. Ambrose comes up next to him. They're both standing on the top rope. And Ambrose just starts jumping on the rope, which knocks Jericho off balance. He falls and crotches himself on the top rope. That was nice. Ambrose goes up and grabs the fire extinguisher, which is another weapon which was up there. He gets that and he brings it down. I believe while Ambrose was doing that, Jericho was climbing up the opposite side to grab the straitjacket, which was another object that was up there. When Ambrose gets down with the fire extinguisher to shoot it at Jericho, Jericho throws the straitjacket on Ambrose's face to blind him, and then Jericho jumps up and enziguri kicks him in the fucking head. So that was a nifty little counter, I guess. Jericho grabs Dean and throws him into the cage wall again. And then now Jericho's got Ambrose down. He gets him down, and he grabs the straitjacket, and he starts putting the damn straitjacket on Ambrose. But before he can get the arms crossed and get the straps buckled in the back, Ambrose starts wriggling free, and he gets free and he starts fighting him off. He gets the fucking straitjacket off of himself, and he starts fighting back on Jericho. And Ambrose hits a big fucking clothesline. I guess what it was is since the cage is just outside of the ropes, he can't do his teeter-totter on the ropes. So Dean just kind of hit the ropes normally and just hits this big swinging fucking lariat, clocking Jericho. Which is nice. I wish he'd do that more often, because before Ambrose came up to the main roster, when he was down in FCW, that big running fucking swing for the fences lariat was basically his signature move. And he used it to set up his finishing move at the time, which was the Emerald Frozen, or what Sheamus calls the White Noise. That was Ambrose's finisher in FCW. He would clothesline the bejesus out of him, and then set him up and drop him on their fucking head with the Emerald Frozen. If you can find those FCW matches with Ambrose early in FCW, they were decent matches. I really wish he'd go back to more of that style. Because the stupid teeter-totter thing, he ripped it off from Nigel McGuinness. But whatever, you know, like, if you can make it look fucking plausible when you do it, like actually have somebody crack you in the face and then you stagger backwards, you go through the ropes and you springboard back to clobber them, But really make sure you put some oomph behind that fucking clothesline. Make it look good. Crack the motherfucker. Make Stan Hansen proud. Hit a big goddamn lariat on him, man. Anyways. So after the clothesline, the crowd started chanting something. I believe it was "We want barbed wire." Because the barbed wire 2x4 hadn't really been used yet. Jericho brought it down, immediately dropped it when Ambrose started hitting him with the fucking nunchucks. That might have been what they were chanting for. Couldn't really tell. Ambrose gets Jericho down. And he goes up to the top rope. And it's looking like he's going to go for his lunatic fringe elbow drop, where he dives on him with like an elbow drop while they're standing up. Well, as crazy as Ambrose is, he goes to mimic Jimmy Snuka. He goes all the way up to the top of the fucking cage. And I'm like, no, you fool, you're going to destroy your knees this way. Sure enough, sorry about that. I had set my alarm clock. I don't know why the hell it's going off now. Because I had it set for the wrong 12 o'clock. Sorry about that. Let me get back in here. Ambrose comes flying off the top of the cage, and sure enough, he drills Jericho with this fucking lunatic fringe elbow drop. After a minute of them down, sucking wind, Ambrose finally drapes his arm over and covers Jericho. Jericho somehow manages to get his shoulder up after the 2 count. So, just a 2 count. Finally, Ambrose gets up, and he goes up to the cage. He climbs up to the top of the cage. There's a bucket, a big red bucket, looks like it's made out of plastic, so I'm wondering, like, what kind of damage is that going to do? He gets the thing, and he gets down into the ring, and it has a lid on it. He opens the lid up, and he reaches in and pulls out a black cloth bag, throws the bucket aside, and I'm like, oh, yes. Idiot commentators are like, what's that? Ambrose opens the bag. Thumbtacks all over the place. And I'm like, yes! Jericho about to die! And the commentators are like, what the fuck, you know? Jericho is on the opposite corner of the ring, and he's like, motherfuck! He's losing his mind. He's scared out of his fucking mind. Jericho tries to climb up the fucking cage as quick as he can. He's trying to run away because he's a total chicken shit. Ambrose grabs him and pulls him back, and they come back. They do a bunch of fucking teases with these thumbtacks. Ambrose is really trying to plant Jericho's sorry ass on these thumbtacks. And Jericho keeps countering. Nobody's gone on the thumbtacks yet. What ends up happening is Jericho gets Ambrose down after one of the counters. Ambrose is down in the middle of the ring. Jericho goes for the lion salt, and Ambrose gets his knees up. Well, Ambrose gets up after the counter, goes for the dirty deeds. Jericho counters it into the walls of Jericho. There's no rope break in a cage match, so you can't just grab the ropes, but Ambrose crawls his way over. There's the kendo stick laying on the ground. He grabs the kendo stick, and while he's on his face, he starts whacking backwards over his shoulder, nailing Jericho in the back. This breaks up the walls of Jericho. Jericho's down. Ambrose goes up to the top rope like an idiot. He's got the kendo stick. He goes to do the same thing Jericho did, jumping off the top rope, cracking with the kendo stick. Well, as he jumps down, Jericho's got the fire extinguisher, sprays that in Ambrose's face. Ambrose goes down like a sack of shit. Jericho hits the fucking code breaker on him. Ambrose manages to kick out at like 2 3/4. Jericho is pissed. He's fuming after this. Ambrose is still selling. Jericho grabs the barbed wire 2x4. And he starts running his mouth. You want to be crazy, Ambrose? He starts nailing Ambrose repeatedly in the guts, over the back, in the guts, over the back. Hits him with the thing repeatedly. He finally ditches the 2x4. He thinks he's got Ambrose beat. He's waiting for Ambrose to get up. And I can see this coming because I'm like, oh, it's in perfect placement. The thumbtacks are in this corner. Ambrose is right here. Jericho comes from this corner. Sure enough, Jericho jumps up to give him the code breaker. Ambrose holds on to him, slams him the fuck down, back first on the fucking tacks. Jericho's like, motherfucking shit. Ambrose gets Jericho up, cinches him up for the dirty deeds, plants him. The commentator said he nailed it onto the thumbtacks, but I'm like, it didn't really look like it. But whatever. Dirty deeds. Ambrose covers him. 1, 2, and 3. Ambrose wins. Crowd pops. Hell yes! Thank you! They raise the fucking cage. Referees and medical personnel come out to attend to Jericho, who's fucking bleeding from the tacks. Apparently he took some on his face. His hand is bleeding. Yeah, Jericho got it good. And I'm glad, because I wanted this so bad. When that fucking asylum first comes down, I'm like, ooh, look at all the fucking toys. Yes. Murder that motherfucker. Anyways, medical personnel are attending to Jericho. Ambrose is just like, whatever, and he kind of limps away. He's probably bleeding. He's got some tacks on him. He's like, I don't give a shit. He hobbles over to the barricade at ringside up the aisleway, and there was this one guy in the crowd who looked like he was going to pat Ambrose on the shoulder, but then he's like, you got tacks in your back. I don't want to agitate him. That's what I'd have been like. I'd slap you on the back, but I don't want to hurt the fucking thumbtacks. How about a handshake? Oh, wait, your hand's got tacks on it, too. He had his hands all taped up and shit. Jericho was wearing, like, actual pants with his knee pads and boots. He wasn't wearing his short little trunks. Should have mentioned that sooner. Ambrose was in his normal gear. Tank top, jeans, hand tape. He was good, you know. I like that about Dean. His normal attire, he's ready for anything. Street fight, no DQ match, regular match, he's good. Anyways, they cut to a commercial break. Coming back, we get the Charlotte and Natalya video package. Everything leading up from the last pay-per-view to this. We cut backstage. There's Charlotte with Rick. And they're hugging whatever the fuck. She's getting ready for the match. Cutting back to the arena. Out comes Natalya to a pop. And then out comes Charlotte to no fucking reaction like always. And we get the big match introductions from the ring announcer. And we get this match between Natalya and Charlotte. And right here I have to kind of wind back. In my predictions video, I failed to mention that this is a submission match. But I did already mention that in the Raw videos that preceded it, is when they announced it as a submission match. So, whatever. Didn't change my prediction at all. So, whatever. I don't even know if it's worthwhile to go through this whole match. There's not really a whole lot to it, so I guess I can. First thing of note, Natalya locks in a cross-arm breaker type of move on Charlotte. Charlotte uses her strength to lift Natty up into a powerbomb, lands it in a nice Batista-style sit-out powerbomb. So that was nice. Charlotte also went into an interesting-looking submission move. I don't know what it's called. She did this thing where she wrapped Natalya's legs around hers and then flipped over to turn it. Natalya was on her face, and Charlotte is just like, got her like, almost like an inverted figure four from the legs. That might have even been what it was. But Natty got a rope break from that. Charlotte hits a moonsault, and then she locks in the Canadian Maple Leaf, or the single leg crab, on Natalya. Natalya comes back with a German suplex, and then she locks Charlotte in the sharpshooter, but Charlotte is able to get to the rope break. But since there's no DQ in any of the matches, it doesn't matter. Natalya drags her back anyway. She's got her in the sharpshooter. Here's the finish of the match. Ric Flair's music hits, and immediately Natalya, like an idiot, drops the hold from Charlotte, completely lets her go, and she goes over, she's like, hey ref, DQ because Ric's interfering. Well, Flair's music is playing, and out shambles this idiot in one of Flair's robes with this fake as hell looking white blonde wig. Natalya's looking on stupefied. The person turns around, takes off the wig and the robe. It's Dana Brooke. Didn't know she had any affiliation with Charlotte. Off of the distraction, Charlotte comes up from behind, clocks Natalya, locks Natalya in the figure eight. And Natalya can't get out of the figure eight. She can't get to the ropes. She has to tap out. So Charlotte wins, just like I said, cheating her ass off. Match is over. Out comes Ric, the real Ric, to celebrate with Dana and Charlotte. Crowd's dead because they don't give a fuck. Commercial break. Coming back from the break, the AJ and Roman video package goes on. And this is finally coming into the last match. AJ comes out to a pop, Roman comes out to a chorus of boos, and we do the big match introductions from the ring announcer. And we get the match between these two. First thing of note, there's a "You Can't Wrestle" chant directed at Roman. Roman uses a jumping knee to counter. I think AJ had come charging across the ring to do the big flying forearm into the corner that he normally does. But Roman jumped up and kneed him. And this was so impactful, it knocked Roman on his ass, knocked AJ on his ass. AJ had to roll to the outside of the ring. And then the crowd starts chanting, "Row, Min sucks! Row, Min sucks!" Roman gets a chair, and he keeps trying to hit AJ with it. First he tries in the ring. AJ rolls out of the ring, so Roman just kind of hits the mat. AJ rolls out of the ring. I think he missed again. AJ's up against the steel steps. And Roman goes to hit him there. AJ gets out of the way, and Roman smacks the steps real hard, and he's like, motherfuck, he has to drop the chairs because the vibration, they've done this spot before, the vibration in the chair makes your hands sting like crazy. So yeah. Roman gets knocked into the crowd by AJ. They fight around through the crowd. They go from, the ring and then the commentary tables. They go from the one corner of the ringside all the way around up to where the fucking pre-show set is. The panel with their glass table and everything. They fight all the way up through there. Up into there. AJ gets thrown on top of the table. Another Roman sucks chant. And then Roman is distracted by the crowd yelling at him. There was this dude right in his face, "You suck, motherfucker," and shit like that. Roman turns around. AJ comes jumping off of the table and nails the phenomenal forearm, clobbering Roman. They fight all the way back to the ringside area. AJ's still in control. AJ pulls the padding off of the corner of the barricade. And then he throws Roman into the exposed metal that's underneath the padding. And then AJ starts pulling up the padding on the floor. He goes to do the Styles Clash on the floor, but before he really gets anywhere with it, he had Roman bent over, but Roman just kind of got out of it and just kind of cracked him. Instead of backdropping AJ on the floor, which would have been cool, no. He just pushes him off and punches him. Really lame. They ended up on top of one of the announce tables. Two of them had been cleared off, the normal English one and the one to its left. They wound up on the one to the left. AJ was trying to do the Styles Clash through that table. Well, again, Roman just kind of pushes him off and hits him, and AJ falls backward over the barricade, because they're right next to the barricade. AJ falls over the barricade. Roman's still on the table. Well, AJ gets up, springboards up to the barricade, jumps up to the thing to go and hit Roman, but Roman just backdrops him, real big backdrop, from one table through the English table. That table just fucking explodes. This prompts a "You still suck" chant from the crowd. Roman busted out some new moves, and he was met with just vitriol the whole time. You still suck here. Back in the ring, somehow Roman got AJ up like he was going to do the Razor's Edge, like he had him in the crucifix powerbomb thing, then lifts him up into a nice Batista-style sit-out powerbomb. And even, he got his arms hooked for the pin, 1 and a 2, and AJ kicked out. Roman went for the Superman punch. Oh yeah, AJ was in one corner, Roman's in the opposite corner. Roman comes charging, he jumps up for the Superman punch, AJ was charging him, and basically like shoulder tackled Roman's leg out from under him, basically like backdropping him. But Roman goes down like a sack of potatoes, selling his leg like his leg is really fucking hurting. And because, you know, AJ kind of shoulder checked his fucking knee out from under him. So they're like, oh my god, is Roman hurt? AJ grabs Roman, suplexes him into the corner. And then they're out of the ring, Roman's out of the ring, AJ's on the apron, comes charging and does that sliding knee shot to the head, nails Roman with that. And then AJ went to do a Hurricane Rana off of the apron. But Roman catches him, swings him, and cracks him into the ring post, and then into the fucking barricade, and then gets him back up. Powerbomb. Right. Roman's got him up in a powerbomb, and he powerbombs him through the third table, which hadn't even been cleared off yet, I don't think. Yeah, the one table that hadn't even been cleared off at all yet. He powerbombs him onto that table, and AJ kind of bounced, and then the fucking table collapses underneath him. The frame on the outside is still kind of standing up, but the middle part just collapsed. AJ's down. Roman has to pull the thing of the table out of the way because it was still standing up. He pulls that out of the way. He goes over. He goes to charge AJ to spear him through the barricade that's still over there. Well, AJ gets out of the way, sidesteps him. Roman throws himself through the fucking barricade and splats through the barricade. At this point, there was a dueling chant. I don't know if it was AJ Styles, Roman. Yeah, it was, because the stupid little kids and the girls were chanting for Roman. Everybody else is chanting for AJ. At this point, AJ gets up, grabs Roman, throws Roman back into the ring. AJ gets up on the apron. He's going for the phenomenal forearm. He springs up to the top rope, and Roman's right there to catch him. Superman punches him. AJ's still on the top rope, so he kind of falls backwards. He fell all the way to the damn floor. Like, I don't even think he hit the apron all that much. Maybe his legs clipped it, but he splats on the damn floor. He's out. So Roman rolls out of the ring. AJ's finally getting up. Roman comes charging, jumps over the steel ring stairs to spear AJ onto the floor. He jumped over the stairs. He didn't use the stairs to spring himself up. He just jumped over them, cleared them to spear AJ. And it was at this point, out comes Anderson and Gallows. They start beating the crap out of Roman. They hit the boot of doom on Roman, and they put AJ on top of him. They're in the ring. 1, 2, and Roman kicks out. The Usos run in, and they start cleaning house. And they both super kick the crap out of AJ. AJ's down. The one Uso goes up, hits the big flying splash on AJ. Roman gets the cover, and AJ kicks out at 2. Back on the outside, the Usos and Anderson and Gallows brawl. Roman gets up. I think he Superman punched AJ, punched one of the bulletproof guys off of the apron. He went for the spear. Okay, I think what happened was he went charging to spear AJ. AJ just kind of kicked him in the face as he came in. AJ went to go for the Styles Clash. Or no, he hits the Styles Clash. He hits the Styles Clash in the middle of the ring. 1, 2, and Roman kicks out. AJ grabs a chair. Oh yeah, he grabs a chair, puts it in the middle of the ring. He goes to give Roman the Styles Clash on the chair, but Roman backdrops him on top of the chair. So AJ lands on the chair. Roman goes for the spear again, but AJ counters with the Pele kick. And then AJ grabs Roman, gets him up, gets him set up for the Clash. He nails the Clash onto the chair. And from out of the ring, one of the Usos grabs AJ and distracts him long enough. AJ just kind of kicked him in the fucking face to get him off. AJ goes over to make the cover. 1, 2, and Roman kicks out. So the Uso distracted AJ just long enough for Roman to collect his wits to somehow kick out before the 3. At this point, AJ loses his shit. He's got the chair. He nails Roman across the back real hard. There's one of the Usos. He cracks him real hard. I think the other Uso was there. He's nailing him. AJ's going back and forth between all 3 of these pieces of shit, nailing them, just whacking the crap out of him with his fucking chair. He's going whack happy on him. He throws the fucking chair out of the ring. The Usos are out of the ring. AJ, like a dumb fuck, goes out to the apron. And he's waiting for Reigns to get up. And he goes for the phenomenal forearm. And Roman jumps up and spears him out of mid-fucking air. Which I saw coming as soon as it was going to happen. Spear out of mid-air. 1, and 2, and 3. Roman wins and retains the fucking title, just like I thought. Doesn't really change much. The match was actually still pretty good. Roman's there, holding up the ugly belt. All of a sudden, everybody in the crowd's hitting their feet. There's Rollins! He comes out of nowhere, and he cracks Roman, kicks him in the fucking balls, cinches him up, and hits the fucking pedigree on him. And drops Roman on his fucking head with the pedigree. The crowd blows the fuck up, because they're like, yes! Anybody but that dick licker Roman. They popped, of course. Rollins grabs the belt, and he holds the fucker aloft. He's holding the fucking belt up, and he's like, yeah! And that's how the fucking pay-per-view ends, with Rollins holding up the fugly belt, Roman bowing down at his feet, That's the end of the pay-per-view. It goes off the air with Rollins holding up the belt. I was fucking losing my mind. I was marking out, bro. Because that was some good shit. The match was great, even though Roman won. AJ's going to fuck off, and thank God, because he really should not have been in a feud with Roman this quick. AJ really needed to be built up first before going for it, and like I said, I really don't think they're ever going to let AJ win their title. They brought him in to bury him, make him look like crap. Like I said, that was the end of the pay-per-view. But I predicted every fucking match right. Right down to the order. They happened in the same order that I said they would. And I even predicted Big Cass showing up. Even though everything else was wrong. No Social Outcasts, no Finn Balor, no Golden Truth, although I did see a Golden Truth sign in the crowd. I am WWE World Heavyweight Predictions Champion. Come at me, bro. Come and get this belt if you can. As we always do, let's go through everything again. In the pre-show match, Baron Corbin defeats Dolph Ziggler no DQ with a big end of days. At the top of the pay-per-view, Bulletproof defeats the Jabronis, the Uso fuckboys, with a nice big magic killer. Rusev breaks the back and fucks the ass and makes to humble Kalisto with the Accolade fucking camel clutch to become the new United States champion, the only title to change hands tonight. And this will propel Rusev to go on to get squashed by John Cena again, no doubt, obviously. Don't know what the hell else they'd be setting up. After that, the New Day defeats the Vaudevillains after a shot from the Bootio and a big motherfucking kick from Woods. New Day retains the tag titles. After that, we saw The Miz sneak in a cheap, sneaky-ass win, just like I knew he would, to retain the Intercontinental title. Still a good match, though. A lot of good action. Maurice on the outside looking hot, but she's always hot, so whatever. And then we saw Dean Ambrose beat the holy high hell out of Chris Jericho, including slamming his punk axe onto thumbtacks. Ambrose defeats Chris Jericho after a slam on the tacks and the fucking dirty deeds, which may or may not have been on the thumbtacks as well. Didn't look like it, but the commentators said it was, so Ambrose wins, whatever. I'm happy about it. Maybe Jericho will fuck off now for a while and we won't have to put up with him, and Ambrose can go on to bigger and better things. Hopefully, as I said, three-way match. Ambrose, Rollins, and Reigns for the title at SummerSlam. After that, in the Death Spot match, the women's title submission match, saw Charlotte cheat her ass off with the help of Dana Brooke to defeat Natalya with the figure eight. Charlotte retains the women's championship. And then in the main event, in a great match, Roman Reigns, with the help of his cousins, the Uso fuckboys, and with the help of a bunch of booking magic, he beats the vastly superior wrestler, vastly more charismatic promo cutter, AJ Styles, with a spear catching AJ out of midair when he was going for the phenomenal forearm. Roman wins to retain the WWE World Heavyweight title, only to have his head pedigreed into the fucking mat by a returning Seth Rollins. Yes! That is twice now that Rollins has returned or come out of nowhere to ruin Roman Reigns' night. The first time was at WrestleMania, the match with him and Brock Lesnar, where Rollins cashed in to become the champion. Oh yeah. So Seth just seems to really love ruining Roman's night. Ruined Roman's night when he broke his fucking back with that chair shot when he left the Shield. Ruined his night again, WrestleMania, the match with Brock. Ruined it for the third time here tonight, pedigreeing his face into the fucking mat, although they really gotta get Seth a better finishing move. He can't keep using the goddamn pedigree. Let him go back to using the curb stomp, or here's a better idea, let him use God's last gift. It's way better. Or, you know, you could... I was going to say you could have him do the Avada Kedavra, but there's a lot of super kicks going around, and any more of them just feels redundant. So, besides, it'd basically be the same thing as Del Rio's concussion kick. So, whatever. But, as I said, that is the end of the pay-per-view review of the Extreme Rules pay-per-view 2016, May 22nd, 2016, Newark, New Jersey's Prudential Center. And once again, I had a clean sweep, predicted every winner correctly, and the correct order that the matches would happen in. So once again, I am Nostradamus. Thank you very much. I am the World Heavyweight Predictions Champion. Thank you for joining me for the Wrestling Rant here tonight. I'm going to take my belt and I'm going to go celebrate. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning into the show. Stay tuned for next time, tomorrow night on Raw, where we will see what falls out, how much Rollins is going to push Roman's shit back in. This is going to be good, folks. Thank you. I am your new predictions champion. Thank you for watching, and good night.